Well, let's say it's time for another music review. This time I've got Cold Chamber Rivals to talk about. I went out and I got this like album right away when it came out. Yeah, I still do get CDs. Believe it or not, people are probably like, "Who the fuck?" Anyway, I think everybody knows that I've talked about CDs before. Sometimes, maybe just like getting a hard copy of the music. You know, and just like people like to collect vinyl, there's no real fucking reason for that. Still like to get CDs. Gives you something to hold, something to look at. Something to rub against your penis. I don't fucking know. Anyway, but I want to talk about this album, Cold Chamber Rivals. Now, Cold Chamber is, a band from the fucking 90s. They're new metal, whatever the fuck new metal even means. That's why I hate putting labels on a lot of bands, because sometimes it doesn't even make a lot of sense. Like, what really is new metal? A lot of people say it's hip hop influenced metal, and, that idea always gets a bit fucked up, because when you really hear that, some of these bands don't really that were considered new metal don't really sound all hip hopish to me. Anyway, let's talk more directly about this album and how I feel about it. Well, I think that Des Ferrara is probably one of the most unique vocalists, ever in metal. I mean, his voice is distinguishable. I mean, there is no mistaking Des Ferrara for anybody else. I mean, his voice, it sounds devilish, talking about Devil Driver, which I have to say is a band that I prefer. Now, when it comes to Cold Chamber, I didn't really start to really like Cold Chamber until they released Dark Days. I thought that chamber music was actually sort of a crappy fucking album. I do not like Dez when he's singing cleanly. When he sings in a clean voice, he sucks. I'm just gonna say it right there. I don't like how Dez sounds when he's singing clean. It's not for him. It's just not. It's not a good voice. It doesn't. It didn't fit the music. So chamber music is it's an album that I don't own and I don't want to own and I don't like it. And their self-titled debut is, it's a good album. I'm not crazy about every song on there. But still Loco still remains a staple of them, and I do enjoy it. And you do hear a lot of like Dez's influences of how he would eventually sound on Dark Days and Cold Chamber. With that song and a couple others on there. Dark Days was great. The song Fiend is a fucking amazing song. Then you have like One Step on there, and you could tell on that album that Dez was ready to do something way heavier, way more evil, hence Dark Days, and you could just tell like by the album art, as opposed to the past two albums, the self-title and chamber music. You saw how the fucking black cover with the fucking skeletons on there. You knew that Dez was ready to get downright fucking evil and change the direction of the band, because it sounded drastically different on Dark Days. Then they came out with the first Devil Driver album, which I still think is probably one of the biggest fucking masterpieces ever. That album is just so fucking ferocious and awesome. But they weren't dedicated yet to the more technical playing, and there ain't really that many solos to speak of. Nothing that's really like a solo in the traditional sense on that album. You might have little fucking licks that might resemble something that's sort of like a solo, but there's not really a traditional solo on that album. But they ended up releasing, which I believe is 6 albums in Devil Driver. I believe so. And even up until the last Winter Kills, that band was on fucking fire, and they remain one of my favorite bands of all time. Without a doubt. The fucking aggression in the fucking music. I don't know what my favorite album is from them. The Fury of the Maker's Hand is unbelievable fucking album. It might be that. And I still love the fucking self-titled debut. And then again, I really love Winter Kills. And, there's just a lot of fucking great music that they've made. And fucking, all hail fucking Dez Ferrara. That man is, well, he's a metal legend now. But Devil Driver is taking a break now. Dez wanted to have them take a break. They didn't have a fight or anything, nothing like that. They're just on hiatus right now because Coal Chamber's back. And I was a little bit bewildered by this. I was like, okay, why is Coal Chamber coming back if Dez's more successful band is clearly Devil Driver? And it's a better band. It's a stronger band. And a band that, well, musically just sounds superior. So when you stack all the albums against it, the 3 Coal Chamber albums, it was 3 previously, as opposed to the 6 Devil Driver albums. Well, just about every single Devil Driver album out of those 6 beats every single one of those fucking Coal Chamber albums. Even Dark Days, which is, undoubtedly the best. So, they decided, let's come out with a new album, new material. So they got back roughly in 2013, about the same time Winter Kills was released, and he went right into Coal Chamber. And you can see all over the internet, they were playing shows, big fucking festivals and shit. And, like I said, I was a bit confused as to why they were bringing this band back. I kind of thought about more money for Dez. Another band, getting to do something that he just wants to do, and I respect that. You can complain about all you want, but at the end of the day, it's really up to the artist. Whatever they feel is musically correct for them to do, they should go ahead and fucking do it. I always said that, and if it ends up being a piece of shit, well, that's why we're here, motherfuckers, to fucking right those wrongs. So here I am, and I've got a copy of Rivals, and I've listened to it quite a few times already, and I have to tell you, I like this album. I really do. But, still, every single Devil Driver album is better. Figure. But anyway, I want to say this. This is definitely the darkest Coal Chamber album. This is definitely the best Coal Chamber album. And, well, it's a good album. It really is. And, fuck, I mean, I'm not even going to lie. Still my favorite track from this fucking album is I Owe You Nothing. I mean, it's just a very aggressive track, and before the album was even released, I listened to that song, and it just fucking grabbed me. I think it's awesome. I think it's got that catchiness that's, like, the catchiness that we saw in the first Devil Driver album, and we started to see with Dark Days, and we saw with Loco. Just great vocal hooks in there. It's a great fucking song, and really, once again, there's no real bad songs in there. There's no eye rollers or anything like that. But, we're kind of returning to the simpler times for Coal Chamber where there's not really that, traditional solos. And but the thing is, this is definitely, there's a lot of Devil Driver-esque sounding music on here. It sounds a little bit more Devil Driver than it does Coal Chamber. And that's, without a doubt, it's kind of hard for Dez to get that out of his system. I mean, he's been hanging out with fucking Devil Driver for fucking 10 years now. Well, yeah, 10 years, because they broke up and, went on hiatus in 2013. So they've been together for quite some time. And, without a doubt, it's going to rub off on, anything else he tries to release, because that's what's inside of him. Devil Driver's inside of him. He is Devil Driver. Just like Static X, there can't be a Static X without Wayne Static, because that voice embodies that of the band. It's kind of like they said it on. I remember, I think it was Eddie Trunk said it on That Metal Show. If anybody watches that on VH1 Classic, he said, like, Motorhead, without Lemmy, You could change out the guitars and you'd probably get a similar sounding band. There's a lot of talented guitarists, or a dime a dozen. I hate to say that, but it's true. Without Lemmy, Motorhead would not be Motorhead, because Lemmy is Motorhead. Dez is Devil Driver. Wayne is Static X. And yes, in the case of Alice in Chains or something, they could get a similar sounding, or Judas Priest, you could get a similar sounding guy, and you could still have some success off of that. Will it be the same? Probably. Well, it depends. Probably not, but it does really depend. But, I like what they did with this album. I really do. It's like a cross between Cold Chamber and, and Devil Driver. And it's pretty decent for what it is. It's just not as good as any of the Devil Driver albums. Because it's like, I hate to say this, but I listen to this, and I'm like, I want to hear Devil Driver. And that's exactly what I did after I listened to this album. I went back and I listened to more Devil Driver. Because I really would have preferred another Devil Driver album. I feel like this band's in the past and really should stay in the past. And it's like, I don't want people to think that this is a bad album. No, go listen to it. Go buy it. I think it's definitely worth it. And because this is the case, if we can't get a Devil Driver album, you bet your ass I want a Cold Chamber album. And if, we can't get a Cold Chamber album, we could get a Devil Driver album. Well, that'd be fucking better. But, it's not going to happen right now. So I don't really know where Dez is going to go from here. I'm definitely going to be seeing Cold Chamber when they're in fucking New York in August. That's for damn fucking sure. They're going to be there with Fear Factory, which is an even better band. It's going to be fucking awesome. And yeah. I would prefer it to be Devil Driver, really, at the end of the day, but it is not. But still a really, really good fucking album. I don't really know what to rate this. It's really fucking good. I would give it like a 9 out of 10, I really would. It's just, I feel like the music is not up to par with the Devil Driver sound. It's because, like, Dez wanted a little bit of the best of both worlds, and sometimes one of those worlds is superior to the other. So I really don't see a reason for Cold Chamber, because I feel like it's holding Dez back. His Cold Chamber side of his brain needs to be suppressed already, and they just need to fucking stick with Devil Driver, because that is, well, there's money with Cold Chamber, but you know the expression, that's what the money is. That's just the better one. It really is. It's the better band. And, it's just, come on. I really just rather see more Devil Driver. But anyway, Rivals is a great album. Go check it out. It's good music. And, yeah, go pick it up.